Hello everyone. In this video we are going to talk about TOSCA dates. I get a lot of questions regarding this, so I thought I'll make one video in which I'll cover all the aspects of it, right from the scratch till the advanced features it offers. So basically I've divided this video into four parts, in which the first section we are going to talk about the default commands which are available, and then with the prefixes, then the important one like calculating and formatting date and time values, and then we are going to talk about some advanced features like special dates. For example, if there are certain fixed holidays in your region and you want to get the dates based on workday weeks, how to skip and all those things. So let's get started. So first and foremost thing, I am going to the way I'm going to approach this is we are going to use a buffer and we are going to pass the value in that. Just in case you are not aware, you can search for tbox set buffer, and then we are going to use these buffers to pass the value, and then we are going to use the translate value function by which we are going to see how to work with all the different options available for date and time. So let's get started with the first section, default commands available. So these are the commands which are already available in TOSCA, like date, date time. All these have different things which will get output based on how these are defined in the tool. It's better to get an understanding on this and at least go through each and every one at least once, so that whenever you have to work on this, you don't have to keep finding for these things. But here, if you see in the first test case, I have given all these options already, so we don't spend time here. But just to get started, if you want to write any function in TOSCA, you have to put curly braces and then whatever you want to use. Since specifically we are talking about date time, if I search here date here, you see a certain syntax is there, but we are going to talk about that later. I'll close this brackets and I'll click out of it. It will turn in this particular way. Now see, if I want to translate this value, I have to right click and click on translate value, so we will understand what this is doing. Okay, so if I do it for date, you'll see that today's date is getting populated in MMDDYYY format. Okay, so that is 30th June 2024. This is what my system date is. If my system date is something different, it is going to display that. So this is based on system date. Similarly, you are going to get time, you are going to get date time, and then you have day, month and year as well. So if you go to the day section and if I translate the value, you will see that it will give you the number of days in that particular month. Okay, similarly, if I go to the month, it is going to give me the month in which it is. So this is June, so it is going to give us 6. Similarly, for year, it is going to give me 24 because this is 2024. Okay, so these are the common basic functions: date, time, day, month and year. Now here you will see month first and month last. Okay, so we'll quickly discuss this. So month first means this particular month is 30th June. What is the first day of this particular month is going to get reflected with the use of month first. So that is June 1 to 2024, and month last obviously 30th June 2024. We'll take a look, 30th June 2024. Okay, now when we talk about quarter first, what does it mean is a whole year is divided into quarters, and the way TOSCA interprets it, usually we take the quarters from April 1st as the first quarter, and then we go till March, right? So if I translate this quarter first, it is going to give me 1st of April 2024. So here you see April 1st 2024. So that is how quarter first is there. Now trimester first, basically trimester first means one particular trimester means in one particular year has been divided into 3 sections. So that means we will have 4 months in one particular trimester. Okay, now if I translate this value, you will see that we are getting May 1st 2024. So that means Jan, Feb, March, April, and then this is May. So this is the trimester first. Okay, now if you see H year first, what does this mean is whichever part of the year it is, like a year is divided into 2 parts, and in whichever month it is falling, if it is in first 6 months, it is going to give 1st of January. If it is after June, it is going to give 1st of July. So if I translate the value, here you see we are getting 1st of January 2024. Now, in case you have any thoughts and as to how this work or functionality regarding this, you just put this thing, you put the syntax here, and here you will be able to see the details with the example and the syntax as well. But it's better to know all these functions. Okay, we have covered the first part. Now the second part is date time with prefixes. Now these are the common functions available, but using certain prefixes you can get a lot of different outputs to these values. Okay, now we have L, we have N, and we have A. Now these all three have different functions. That's why not all of the items are mentioned here. Okay, now if we take a look at the L prefix, L date, L day, L month, and L year, it is going to give me all the details about the date, month, and year. Okay, so let me showcase you. If I right click translate value, it is going to give me Sunday, June 30th, 2024. But if I use just the date, it is going to give me only the date part. Okay, so that we can achieve using prefix L. Same way with L day, it is going to give me the entire day, Sunday. It is going to spell it out like that. So if there is a need, similarly thing like month, June is going to come, and for year, the whole year is going to come. So this is going to give the entire details, so that we can achieve using the prefix L. Now let's talk about N. What does the N prefix do? N prefix is going to give you the numbers in 2 digits. So if I talk about N day, and if I translate this value, it is going to give me the number of days in that particular month. So that is 30 days. Now if I do it for month, then I am going to get which month it is in 2 digits. So that is 06. Similarly for year, if I translate the value, I am going to get 24 in 2 digits. What is the month? So that is how the N prefix can be used. Now the next prefix is A. What it is going to do is it is going to return just the first 3 characters. Okay, so since today is Sunday, it is going to give me SUN. So here you see SUN is coming, and similarly in the month it is going to give me JUN. So JUN is there. Okay, now these are the standard functions which we feel we might do not want to remember, but it's better if you remember. It will make your work a lot easier. But in case you do not, you can always search these things. Now we are going to focus on the third part, calculating and formatting date and time values. This is going to be majorly used in your project, or it is one of the favorite sections in interview questions as well. So we are going to understand step by step, so that once and for all the concepts behind this are clear. Okay. So the basic syntax is expression. First is your base date, second is offset and format. So if I go to TOSCA Commander, and if I write this here, curly brackets, date, and then 1 square bracket, 2nd square bracket, 3rd square bracket. So all these 3 things are optional. Okay. Now if I translate the value here, it is going to give me this particular date. And how it is selecting this date? It is selecting this date based on what is my system date. So today is 6/30/2024. That's how it is giving 30th June. Okay. Now before understanding how to work or how to manipulate the dates, the most important thing we need to understand is there are 2 sections to this. Okay, one is what is your TOSCA date format, and one is your target date format. Let me explain with an example. So for example, here we can change the base date as well. Like right now it is taking the system date, but we can manipulate it as well. So let's say I'll put the same date, but I'll put a different syntax to this. I'll put in this particular format 6/30/2024. Okay, now if I put this date and if I try to translate the value, you are going to see a error. That error says the value of this cannot be interpreted as the date according to mm/dd/yy format. Now if I mention it in this particular way, it is going to work fine. Okay, it is going to work fine. Why this is happening is because in TOSCA we have mentioned this in the settings that this is how the date is and this is how you need to read it. Now where can we edit that? If you go into your project and if you go to the settings, here inside T box you will have a section called dynamic temporal expressions. So let me navigate to that. Here you see you have TOSCA date format, TOSCA date time format, and TOSCA time format. Okay. Now, if you're using date or time, you need to follow this format. Otherwise, Tosca is not going to understand that. And when we talk about target date time format, it means that this is how it is going to represent, or the value is going to get output in this particular way. Now, both are slash. If in your application or in your entire project this settings is not right, if you're using dot or if you're using a hyphen, you can update this here and it will apply to all your test cases. But just in case you do not want to manipulate and your particular test case is only related to that format changing, you can set it up in test configuration as well. Let me showcase you. So we'll first change this to dot and I'll put this to dot as well. We'll see first the error here. Okay, so if I translate value, I am seeing this particular error. Okay, now I go to test configuration and here I search for this test configuration TOSCA date format. Okay, now if you see, you'll get a lot of different things in the value section, D, M, Y. So whatever way you want to set it up, you can set it up. Okay, now we want to set it up in mm.dd.yyyy. Okay, now even if you're not able to see that, in case that is not visible here, you can type it out. So I'll type it out, mm.dd.yyyy. Okay, now this whatever you set in test configuration is going to take precedence on your test case. So now if I translate this value, you'll be able to see a successful expression. So see, this is the expression. Now you might feel that why this is coming as /, because in the target set format it is in /. We are going to talk about that, as that is the third component of this date function. Now this is the base date. Here it is taking from the system. If I want to change it, can I do that? Yes, you can do that. You can change it. So if I put it as 7 and if I put it as 1, then it is going to follow the, it is going to consider 1st of July as your base date and it is going to perform all the operations based on 1st of July. Okay, so we can do the changes here. Okay, now let's understand, let me change this back to today's date only. So 06.30.2024. okay, now we'll first see the output value. Okay, now second thing is offset. We are going to talk about that thing in detail. First we'll understand the format. Now I'm getting this in forward this slash. Okay, let's say I want to get it in a hyphen format. Okay, so I'll write mm is for month and I'll write hyphen and I'll write dd for date and I'll write yy. Okay, now if I translate this value right now, it is going to give me the output in this particular format. So here you see, now it is coming as hyphen. Okay, now if you feel that you want to even change the month to the last, date to the first, year in between, whatever you want, you can do it here. Okay, because this is how it is going to be displayed. Okay, now if I let's say write yy here and here let's say I write now it is going to display in this particular format. So 2024 30th is today's date and June month. Okay, so this setting can be manipulated whatever way we want. Okay, now let's say the setting is always going to be common for me. What I can do is I can either set it up in the settings if it applies to entire project, or if I have a lot of test steps and I do not want to mention this again and again and again, I can mention this thing in my test configuration parameter. So let's take a look at that. I'll go to test configuration and I'll search for the parameter target date format. So target date format. Here if I mention this, now the same result I'm going to get. I can skip the parameter here because it is going to take it from there. Now if I run this, if I translate the value here, it is going to take this particular format. Okay, so we understood about both the base date, we can change the base date, we understood about the format, we can do all the changes. If you want to to just put day, if you want to just put month, you can do that as well. All those parameters are possible here. Okay. Now let's come to the offset, which is kind of important because we are going to see a lot of cases when we automate that we have to get to a certain date and all those kind of things. So here, if you will see, we will have only 4 parameters mainly. Okay, one is days, then months, then year, and then we are going to talk about the work days as well. Okay, these 3 parameters are always going to be in small, and months M is going to be in caps. Okay, so let's understand this. We will do the offset. So this is the base date. We are taking the same date as base date. Now let's say plus 2 weeks. Sorry, plus 2 days. Let's understand first the days. So for days, we need to mention plus D. Now if I want to add, if I want to subtract, I can do that, and it can be n number of things what I can mention here. Like I can mention month, year, and all those things. We are going to take a look at it. So if I do it like this, it is going to give me 2 days in future. So let's translate the value and check. So see, my month has changed and the date has went to 2. So 30th, and it took 2 days in the future. Okay. Now I can easily manipulate this to whatever things I want. Okay. So first is day. Now let's understand months. Now let's say I want to go 2 months in future. I'll put 2M here. Okay. Now what it will do, it will increase it by 2 days and then it will increase by 2 months. So it is going to be, guess the value, what it is going to come. It is going to come as 0, 9 and 0, 2. Okay. So it went from 2 days went to July, and then August, September, October. Let me make this format as well little bit better, because this is slightly confusing. So I'll put it as DD. Maybe I can put DD YY. So we'll get the dates as well here. So let me translate the value here. So see, first is we are getting the date. So our date is getting 2nd of July, and then we are getting from June to July, August and September. So we are getting September here and 2024. Okay. Now if I want to increase the years, that goes with the format of Y. So if I put 2Y here, then it is going to increase 2 days, 2 months and 2 years. Okay. Let's just, for the convenience, I can remove this so that we can understand it better. So if I do it like this, it is going to give me 2 years in future, and this is going to turn to 2026. So here we see that is 30th June 2026. However, we can put in the conjunction as well. Now let's say I want to decrease it as well. I can just put a minus here, and it is going to go 2 years in the past. So if I do a translate value, it is going to go 2 years in the past. So that is 2022. Okay. Now we understood about base date, offset and format. Okay. Now let's understand about this important thing called work days. Okay. What do we mean by work days? So TOSCA interprets work days as Monday to Friday as work days. So if instead of putting plus 2 days, I put plus 2W there, so it is going to count only from Monday to Friday, and then it is going to skip Saturday, Sunday. Okay. So let's see that in action. So let me remove this, and let's take, so it is taking 30th June, that is Sunday. So I'll take plus 5, or I'll take plus 6. Okay. So I'll put plus 6 W here, and if I click out of it, what date we are going to get? So this is 30th June and 6 days, so it is going to come as 8th of July. So let's translate this value. So see, 8th of July 2024. So it is always going to skip Saturday and Sunday, and plus 6 it has happened, so it was coming on 6th of July, but since 6th of July is Saturday, it skipped Saturday and Sunday, it went to the next Monday. Okay. Now you can use this in conjunction with days as well. I can put plus 2 day here, or I can put plus 2 months here, or I can put minus 2 years here. Whatever you want, you can put it here. and it is going to just proceed with whatever you have mentioned here. It is going to work accordingly. Okay, so let's remove this and just showcase the format part here. So format part, we are managing it from here, but if we want, we can skip this and we can manage it inside the script as well, inside the function here. So here we can probably go for a hyphen. So let's do that. Put dd hyphen hyphen yy. Okay. Now if I translate this value, it is going to give me an hyphen, as we understood it very well. Okay. So majorly you have to only think about these four things when you are working with the offsetting, and it is going to take care of everything. Okay, now we are going to understand how we can use advanced functions on this. So our previous starting of this video, we understood about all the default options. This is going to be applicable when we are doing date manipulations as well. So let's take an example for this entire details, right? Using LDate, if you remember, we were able to get the entire day, month and all displayed like this: Sunday, June 30th, 2024. So what we are going to do is we can use that here as well. Okay, now interesting thing I'll showcase you here. If I mention this L date and I put the syntax curly brackets, square brackets here, and close the square brackets here, and I'll put the curly brackets here. Now if I translate this value, just think about it, what we are going to get. Okay, so this is actually going to turn into an error. And why? Because when we are using this particular format, okay, when we are using this particular format, what is happening is this format is getting changed from this dd.mm.yyyy to this particular format. Okay, while TOSCA understands only this particular format based on the configuration what we have given here. Okay, so there are two options to rectify this. One thing is I can change this format here to this particular format. Okay, so I can put it as mm.dd.yyyy, and why this is happening is because LDate is considering TOSCA date format. Now if I run this, it is going to give me the exact value. So see, Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, because we are giving an offset of plus 2 days. Now we'll see the other thing as well. So here you see we have defined, we have changed the format into this particular format, right? Now if I want to change this again, I can change it here and I can change it in this, and then it is going to read that format. Okay, similar way you can use other formats as well: L day, L month, L year, and all those things. Okay, or the numbers, if you want to extract, you can get all those values. Okay, so that's how we do all the date manipulations. I hope this covers all the different aspects of date, and now you'll be able to perform any operation. Just one thing to remember here is what is your TOSCA date format and what is your target format. That needs to be clarified, otherwise it is going to not work if those formats are mismatching. Now we'll talk about special dates, the fourth section of this video. Okay, now let's say you have a condition in which there are certain fixed holidays are there. Okay, and I want to count the work days, but I do not want to consider those fixed holidays. Okay, so how will I manage that particular scenario is, for that you go to your project and you go to settings, and what we'll do is it is taking work week, so maybe 4th of July we can take as a holiday. It's a holiday in US, we can take that, and or whatever date we want, we can take it as holiday. Okay, so maybe we can take 4th of July and 8th of July as holiday. Okay, so for that you go to settings, you go to T box, and here you will find a section called special dates. Okay, here you have to mention the holidays which you are going to consider. Okay, so first thing is we are going to take 4th of July, right? So your date is going to be date and then whatever is your month. Okay, now if I mention this, then it is going to consider this as holiday on top of Saturday and Sunday, and it is going to whenever we are talking about work days, it is going to skip this. Now if I want to mention multiple holidays, I can mention it using a semicolon here. So if I put 0807, it is going to consider 4th of July and 8th of July as holidays. Okay, now let me close this and let's modify this function a little bit. So we do not want to, maybe we can keep this as well, and here we are going to take work day. Okay, now since 4th of July is holiday, so if I put 4, then it is going to go to 5th. So let's do this. I'll put plus 4 and W here. Okay, so ideally, in ideal case, it should come as 30 plus 4, 4th of July, but since 4th of July is a holiday we have declared, it is going to come to 5th of July. Okay, now if I run this, this might not work in the first instance because I have done the settings, but it is not updated yet. So let me click on save, and since I'm just translating the values, I think I might have to run this. So it is taking this. Let me just close and reopen this, and this is going to work. So I'll just close my TOSCA commander and reopen this. Okay. So in this way, whatever, like in particular region, whatever holidays are there, you can take the entire calendar year and whatever dates are according to that, you can mention in that, and it is going to work accordingly. So that's how we can manage it. Let's go to our test case and we'll see if it is working or not. So guys, do like, share and subscribe. It takes a lot of effort to create content like this. So do support my channel. Okay, so it is loaded. Let's take a look at this. I'll go to this and date manipulations, and this is where we are working with. Let's translate the value, and it should ideally give 5th of July. So we are getting 5th of July. Similar way, we have given 8th of July as well. So it is going to consider that as well as holiday. So we have covered the special dates, fixed holidays. Now, what about floating holidays? If we mention those are also going to be considered as holidays. So if you want to manage those, you go to settings, and again you go to T box and you go to special dates. Now there's an interesting concept in floating holidays here. What they do is they consider uh, the calendar in Austrian month. Okay, so whatever is the Easter day, that is considered as 0, and based on that you have to give how many plus or minus days. So let me explain that in detail. So if I go here, I'll search for Easter date in 2024 in Austria. So here I'll get March 31st, 2024 is the Easter date, or maybe I can just cross check in Google once. So Sunday 31st March 2024. Okay, so this is going to be your 0 value. Okay, now if I want to mention anything to skip after March 31st, it is going to, I need to add those values. So for example, let's take this only. So we were taking 4th of July is holiday, fixed holiday. Let's take 5th of July. Okay, so in that case, we have to go to first March here till March, sorry about that. So March 31st is my 0th pointer. Okay, so I have to count the days. Okay, so if I go to this, in April we have 30 days, so that is 30 plus 31, that is 61, and then again 30, that is 91, and 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. So 96th value is 5th. Okay, so I'll put here in the settings, I'll put it as 96. Okay, now the 0 is also always required just to set the pointer. Okay, and I'll close this. Now, since we have set it up to 4th of July is holiday and 5th of July is holiday, and we are considering work days, so it should go to 8th of July. Okay. Now again the same thing, if I've done the setting, I might have to restart this. Just give me a minute. And let me relaunch this. So every year, based on what date Easter is there, that is always considered as 0th reference. Little bit complicated in that terms if you feel, but that's how it is set up here. So let me go to my workspace, and what date we are expecting is, we are expecting it is to be 8th of July should come. Okay, so let's see if this works or not. Okay, commander is taking a little bit time, but let's go to this and we'll go to special dates, not here, and the date manipulations. Okay. Now let me just translate this value. So it is coming as Tuesday 9th of July. So it is considering both 4th and 5th as holiday, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it is giving Tuesday, July 9th. So 1 day extra is coming because we have given 8th of July as well as holiday. So let's take a look at that. I'll go to settings. So we did that setup, but I totally missed about that. So here you see I have mentioned 4th and July and 8th of July both as holiday, and this is taking 5th of July as holiday. So that's why it is coming as 9th of July. So we have covered all the 4 parts: default commands available, date, time with prefixes, special dates, calculating and formatting date time values, and that sums up the entire video. Let me know if you find any issue, if you have any questions. I hope this video helps. Do like, share and subscribe.